I like to dedicate this to all of the Creator's righteous children. I have some food in my bag for you. Not that edible food, that food you eat. No, I have some food for thought. Since knowledge is infinite, it has infinitely fell on me.
Lovers, TV watchers, and moviegoers, welcome to another installment of Discovered, my YouTube/podcast series where I talk about underrated or new movies, TV shows, and music. And on today's Discovered, I'm going to be talking about an underrated band, hip-hop group, rock group, called Gym Class Heroes. Now, most of you might know about Gym Class Heroes. You might have heard some of their singles like Ass Back Home, or Fighter, or Stereo Hearts, or Cupid's Chokehold, or Clothes Off. But you may not have really delved into Gym Class Heroes and what they are really all about. And so, I'm here today to help you discover this amazing band. So, here we go, diving into Gym Class Heroes. So Gym Class Heroes are a mashup of various genres out of upstate New York who were part of the Fueled by Ramen record label. Formed in high school, best friends Travie Mccoy and Matt Ginley, and at the time guitarist Milo Banaka and bassist Ryan Geis formed the band in 1997 in Geneva, New York. McKinley and Geis played in an instrumental band at parties, and one night Travie hopped on stage and started rhyming to it, and Gym Class Heroes was born. The original group played during their college years at different college parties, clubs, and festivals, which led to bigger venues around the Northeast, including Warped Tour. During that time, from 1998 to 2001, they had 3 albums out: Hard Candy, Greasy Kid Stuff, and For the Kids, which, by the way, are super amazing. Please go check it out. They're super underrated. Their early stuff is great. Travie is amazing on those tracks. Go check it out. Then in 2003, they were working on their album, The Papercut Chronicles, and it caught the attention of Fall Out Boy's bassist Pete Wentz, who signed them to their record label Decadence Records and the parent label Fueled by Ramen. At this time, Milo Banaka left the band and was replaced with now guitarist Dasashi, who's amazing, who was at Cornell University at the time. During Dasashi's first day with the band, they wrote Cupid's Chokehold, which became the album's first single, which was a cover of a Supertramp record. In February 2005, the Papercut Chronicles were released after Eric Roberts replaced Ryan Geis on bass, and that year the band toured, appearing at South by Southwest and Warped Tour, as well as putting out the video for Taxi Cab, which is really the reason why Pete Wentz was so intrigued. In May of 2006, at a Milwaukee radio station started playing Cupid's Chokehold, and shortly before the release of the band's second album, As Cruel as School Children, it grew like wildfire after that, and although it was like a one-time record, it was the band's chance to make it big. It became the band's most successful single, peaking at number 4 on the Billboard. On July 25th, 2016, the band released As Cruel as School Children, with guest vocals from Patrick Stump of Fall Out Boy. It was a little left field for the band, as they started to use more drum machines and synthesizers. After headlining their own tour called the Daryl Hall for President's Tour 07, the band headed back to the studio to write for their new record, The Quilt, which came out September 9, 2008. This album features many collaborations with other artists, including Daryl Hall from Hall & Oates, which is Travie Mccoy's favorite group of all time, and he actually has a tattoo of them on his hands. Fun fact: The Dream, Estelle, and Busta Rhymes, and also felt like their most urban album to date. Gym Class Heroes co-headlined the 2008 Warped Tour along with label mates Paramore. While on stage, Travie was arrested due to hitting a man who called him a racial slur. Yes, somebody called him the N-word, and he had to knock him upside their head. Sad but true. In 2010, the band took a little time to focus on solo and side projects. Travie Mccoy put out a solo record, Lazarus, which is also his middle name, and you probably know this only because of Billionaires, because Billionaires in 2010, summer of 2010, was everywhere. Billionaires, Billionaires, Billionaires. That was basically why Bruno Mars is Bruno Mars today, because of Billionaires. He also did some humanitarian work on behalf of HIV/AIDS in 2010, where he traveled to South Africa, the Philippines, and India, and wrote an inspiring song where the proceeds benefited the MTV Staying Alive campaign. Disashi also put out a side project band in 2008, which he focused on during the break, and some of their songs even made their way to the Gym Class Heroes' The Quilt album. Also, Matt McGinley became the drummer of the rock group Kill the Frontman. So the Unbeaten track you can find on YouTube. I think you can also find it on Daily Motion. But it's a really great documentary that I think you should go check out. Travie Mccoy did it with MTV. And basically it's about HIV and AIDS in these different third world countries. And it's really amazing. And he also did a song called One at a Time for it. And it's really a great thing that you should check out. Then in 2011, the band came back to put out their most successful album yet, Papercut Chronicles 2. The album came out on November 1st, 2011, which they had released several singles prior to the release, like their first single, Stereo Hearts, featuring Adam Levine of Maroon 5, Life Goes On, featuring Oland, and Ask Back Home, featuring Neon Hitch. Gym Class Heroes performed Stereo Hearts with Adam Levine during the 2011 American Music Awards. Their second to last single from the album, and one of my favorites, was The Fighter, featuring Ryan Tedder of One Republic. The last single was Material Girls, which was released in the form of a video on Fueled by Ramen YouTube channel on August 27, 2012. Which Material Girls, it really showcases Travie's rhyming, but it also really showcases the fact that this is a rock group. I'll explain more later, but basically it helps them in the rock terminology because they're very eclectic as a group, and sometimes they just get considered like a hip-hop band, but they do have elements of rock in their music, and it's really incredible. So yeah. After this album, the band took another hiatus to focus on the side and solo projects. Disashi recently put out a song with a new group he is sporting, New School, called 3 in the Morning. Travie has also put out some singles in 2014 from a to-be-released solo record called Rough Waters, featuring Jason Mraz, and Keep On Keepin' On, featuring Brandon Urie of Panic! At the Disco, as well as another song with Sia, which, it's okay. It's not the best, but it's okay. Travie should be blessing us with his solo project soon, and I hear that they are working on Gym Class Heroes stuff as well. And of course, Matt, Eric, and Disashi are busy too with fatherhood, and that is a job in itself. So there you go, Gym Class Heroes in a nutshell. Now here's how I first discovered Gym Class Heroes and why I think they're an incredible band and why I think you should discover them. When I first heard of Gym Class Heroes, it was on the radio like most people. Cupid's Chokehold was playing, and that got me intrigued. I was like, who are these guys? Their sound is so fresh and original and different. Plus, they got that hip-hop rock thing going on, and Travie's pretty cute, so that was a selling point. So I looked into them more and was really digging their style and their story. You might also only remember them from the public relationship, then breakup of Travie and Katy Perry before she got big. Katy Perry acted like a little bitch about the whole thing, just like all her relationships since, probably why she can't keep a man. Truth, truth, truth. Travie, who writes most of the songs for the band, said that growing up in what we would consider the projects of upstate New York, he would hear a lot of different kinds of music. Everything from hip-hop to R&B, oldies and classics, rock to reggae to Latin music. Then as Travie got older, he started to rebel and like any good rebel, he got into art and the alternative scene, and even became a young tattoo artist for a while, starting at age 14. Growing up, Travie was not, as it might seem, now the popular kid, and was actually overweight and heavily picked on. The name for Gym Class Heroes actually came out of that, as Matt McGinley was picked on a lot during gym class, so Travie would defend him, and that started their friendship. Being overweight in high school and not having many friends drove Travie to start drug abuse, and it took him over 10 years to get clean and sober, with many relapses in between. It also, though, helped Travie creatively and helped the band become who they are today. Oh, and if you're wondering, Travie is part Haitian on his dad's side and Irish Native American on his mom's side, or a mutt like he likes to call himself. Disashi on his dad's side is from the Congo and his mom's side is from the Ivory Coast, and everyone in his family has really dope names like his. And then you have Matt and Eric, who are white. Other fun facts about the band: Travie has a tattoo of Hall & Oates on his hands, Eric can cook his ass off and is a grill master, and Disashi, besides being a dope guitar player on the Jimmy on the Jimmy status. He's a really awesome dancer and a pretty good rapper too. Just putting that out there. So, why do I think that Gym Class Heroes is incredible? For one, Gym Class Heroes is able to bring together all the music I love in one very cool, eclectic package. They're the kind of group where it can be hard to place them in a genre spectrum, but that for me is a good thing, as they will never get boring. It also is music with a message, and a very empowering music for the underdogs to stand up and fight. Coming from where Travie and Matt did, they understand what some kids are going through, and they write songs for them to never give up. They give you hope in the dark times and give you something to look up to. It also just fun sounding music, and sometimes that's all you need. So yeah, that was basically Gym Class Heroes in a nutshell. So here are some of my favorite songs from Gym Class Heroes, songs I think you should check out, songs that are just dope. So from some of their early work and some of their early mixtapes, from For the Kids, 85 is beautiful, Beautiful Day is beautiful, Oh My God is beautiful, Food for Mike Skills is beautiful, Crabapple Kids is beautiful, which Gym Class Heroes, for a long time I didn't even know they had like a band, like you know how some bands are like Gaga has a Little Monsters and stuff like that. Like Gym Class Heroes, their fandom is called the Crabapple Kids. And I did not know that for a while, but when I found out, I thought that was really awesome. We Just Freestyling is dope. And then Paper Cut Chronicles, Paper Cuts is great. Taxi Driver is great. Simple Living is great. Facing the Hall is great. Graduation Day is great. Apollo 315 is great. We Just Feel Freestyling Part 2 is great. Kid Nothing Boy vs. Echo Factor is wonderful. And then As Cruel as School Children, The Queen and I is amazing, Shoot Down the Stars is amazing, New Friend Request is amazing, Sloppy Love Jingle Part 1, 2, and 3 is amazing, and Viva La White Girls is great, It's Okay But Just This Once is my favorite song off that album, Boys in the Band Interlude is wonderful, Scandalous Scholastics is great, and The Quilt, we have Guilty as Charged, which is amazing, featuring Estelle. Drunk Text Romeo is wonderful. Peace Sign Index Down, featuring Busta Rhymes, is incredible. Blinded by the Sun, with Patrick Stump vocals in the background, is amazing. Catch Me If You Can, with Patrick Stump vocals in the background as well, is also incredible. Live a Little is a song that Tsashi made for his other band, but it ended up on a Gym Class Heroes record, and it is incredible. Live Forever, Fly With Me featuring Daryl Hall is amazing, kind of depressing but amazing. Kiss in Ears featuring The Dream, that's a really great like R&B / hip-hoppy kind of track. And then you have Paper Cut Chronicles 2, where you have Material Girls, which is great. Marterial Girls, which is great. Stereo Hearts featuring Adam Levine, which is great, but kind of overrated at this point because it's been on the radio so much. Solo Discusco Whiskey Business, which I cannot pronounce this, but it's the one where if you watch the video of that one, then it's basically the whole time it's just Tsashi dancing the whole time. It's incredible. Please go check it out. Neil Draw is incredible. Lazarus is amazing, and The Fighter featuring Ryan Tedder is amazing. And then Kid Nothing and the Never-Ending Naked Nightmare, that's incredible. And yeah, that was basically Gym Class Heroes in a nutshell. So I just love Gym Class Heroes because I feel like they are an eclectic group, which back in high school when I first discovered them back in like 2007, 2008, I was really intrigued by them because they really brought together all of my favorite loves of music. I love hip hop, I love rock, I love pop, I love funk, I love reggae, I love all of these kinds of musical genres, and they were able to put them together in one really beautiful, eclectic, weird package, and I was like, yes, I can get down to that. And now, people all the time are doing these kinds of unique kind of groups and bands, and doing this unique fusion of music, and I feel like Gym Class Heroes for the 2000s really started that. I know there's been artists and bands that have done that in the past, and that's amazing. But for the 2000s, Jim Crow really started the path that would become the music of the 2010s. And I really do appreciate them. They're one of my favorite groups of all time. And I just think they're a super underrated group. I feel like a lot of people know their singles and they don't really delve into their discography much, and they don't know a lot of the underrated songs. And so I just feel like they are a really good group. You really need to go check them out. I really do recommend them. They're incredible. Check them out. Check them out. Alright. This has been Discovered. Till next time, Jerry's!